efficient, okay? We want everybody to be efficient. You want to engage your core. You want to have everything working right. So what I like to do is set my posture before I run. So everybody just kind of reach up toward the sky, kind of stretch out, get your posture all nice and good. Come down and relax. You hear me say relax a lot, okay? Anytime we do something new, we try to tense up a little bit. So just kind of get that posture reset. And then what I like to do is kind of rock back and forth. Don't let your heels or your toes leave the ground. Keep that good posture, okay? When you feel like your heel wants to leave the ground, let it and kind of fall into your run, okay? So everybody can kind of try this. It's not a big shift, okay? I mean, if you watch me from the side here, it's like, okay, my heel wants to leave, there we go. It's a very slight forward. And notice we're not bending at the waist. We never do this, okay? It's always chest up, hips forward, you know, good postures, you rock back and forth, fall straight into your run like that, okay? The other thing a lot of things you can do is look down. You don't want to look down, always look straight ahead. That'll keep your posture where it should be. So if you're rocking back and forth, you feel that momentum shift, drop straight into the ground and keep moving straight ahead, okay? Okay, anybody want to try that again? Let's try it one more time. Just give it a shot. See what it looks like. That's good. I was trying to get everybody alive. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got to feel for what that feels like. Okay. So my most helpful posture reset for most people that I think works the best is what I call reach for the moon. Okay. So if you're in the middle of the run, you feel like your form just isn't happening, your posture's no good, reset your posture by reaching up for the moon. Okay. So just pretend the moon's out there somewhere. Give it a nice, you know, reach up to 45-degree angle. You'll see that it pulls your chest and your hips forward and up, okay? So a lot of people call it run proud, run tall, okay? So push your chest out a little bit, you know, run proud. Does that make sense? Okay, so, you know, and it looks a little funny when you're running, but hey, it's a great posture. You say, run along, oh, my posture's so good. Okay, here we go. You know, do it. I dare you to do it mid-race. Okay? Try it. You'll love it the last mile. People will think you're crazy, but hey, you're going to be going by them, so it's all good, right? Okay. All right, so that's forward momentum posture. So we just don't break at the waist. Reach for the moon to reset your posture. Run tall, run proud, hips forward, chest forward. Got it? Any questions? Okay. Step 2, compact arm swing. This is the mostly female crowd, okay? Guys do a lot of this, ladies do a lot of this, okay? You know what I'm talking about, okay, so what we want to do is 2 rules of arms, okay? Something like that. 2 rules of arms. Elbows never come forward past the hips unless you're sprinting, and fists don't cross the midline, okay? So your arms should be going back and forth. They should be close to your body, okay? The wrists should be rotated up, not in, not out, okay? So pretty comfortably here, okay? And when you want to go faster, you drive back, okay? You pop the arm back. Guess what that does to your posture? Try it. Pop both your arms back. See what happens to your posture, okay? It's a good posture reset right there. What we don't want is this, okay? And most people end up overstriding and putting extra impact on their joints because they swing their arms too far forward, okay? The hips and the elbows should work together. The elbows always stay at or behind the hips, okay? So if you're running along at a slow pace, there's very little arm movement. 90% of runners use their arms too much. Our goal is to get from here to wherever in the shortest possible distance, which is a, thank you, straight line. Okay, so this is not a straight line, okay? So we're trying to get here. Usually too much arm movement going on. So we're gonna really use as little arm movement as possible. When you want to go faster, you pop the elbows back. That will drive you forward. Look at any Olympian distance race. You will see a lot of what I call chicken wings, okay? Right here. All those Africans are right up here, okay? You know what I'm talking about. You watch Olympics. I suggest you do the same. It's very efficient. It's much more comfortable. If you think you're more efficient down here, I encourage you to grab some hand weights or a water bottle and go running and see if you still feel the same way. Okay? Most people are like, oh, I just run more comfortably, or I run more efficient down here. We put a water bottle in their hands, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. You know? So that's arms. Any questions on arms real quick? Okay. Proper, what I call landing underneath a bent knee. Okay, we don't really talk about foot strike. Ultra doesn't promote a foot strike. We don't think a forefoot strike is better than a midfoot strike is better than the heel strike necessarily. Most people are going to land somewhere between a slight heel strike and a slight forefoot strike. Most of you naturally, if we have you run barefoot on a soft surface, you're going to land with what I call a full foot landing or a midfoot strike. What we don't want anybody to do is ever think about foot strike. So we're going to give you cues that help your foot strike be whatever is naturally you. If you're a natural slight heel striker, great. If you're a natural slight forefoot striker, no problem. The idea though is you land under a bent knee so the muscles can absorb the impact instead of making the shoe and your joints absorb the impact. Okay? And so that's the biggest cue, is just think bent knees. Okay? And as you come through the stride, if you remember to have your knees bent, your foot will land more underneath your body. And as your foot lands more underneath your body, this whole spring of your body can help absorb impact every step and propel you forward. Instead of having a dead stop, it's a proven fact that when you overstride or heel strike excessively with the check mark, your body comes to a dead stop for a few milliseconds, and the impact peak is 3 to 5 times. That's a big number. 3 to 5x. Okay, 3 to 5 times higher to land like this than it is to land like this. Okay, so that's a huge amount of initial impact. 3 to 5 times more. Okay, you've already got 2 to 3 times your body weight coming down. We don't need to multiply that by 3 to 5. So land under that bent knee. Just think run a little quieter is a good one. And for the most part, just let the foot strike happen. If you're wearing a pair of Ultras, your shoe isn't going to modify what you're doing. If you're wearing a shoe with a 12mm raised heel, or even a 4mm raised heel, the shoe's going to change what you're doing because the shoe's heavier in the back and it's thicker in the back. So what's going to happen is, instead of coming through the ground with the ground parallel, the heel's going to drop a little bit, and because it's thicker, it's going to hit the ground earlier, and then you're going to have more of that traditional foot strike. So that's really all there is to foot strike. Really, Ultra shoes are just cheating. Just makes it easier to do that. But I would encourage, if you ever write about technique on your blogs, never tell your runners to run with a particular foot strike, because as soon as runners think about the foot strike, they tend to tense up. Oh, I need to land with a mid-foot strike, or oh, I need to land with a forefoot strike. All of a sudden, you got tension, you got soreness, you got problems. Okay? So that's one thing we really like to get into, is keep the knees bent and just let the foot fall where it may. Yes?
So if you've been running